for Utah's most accurate forecast with Adam Carroll, Weather Rate certified 10 years in a row.
We are feeling the heat outside right now. It's 92 degrees and we are well on our way to 100 degrees here in Salt Lake, which means more records will fall today. You know, we had 60 records break across the region, including parts of Nevada and Wyoming yesterday. Isolated storms will start to become more prevalent over the next couple of days, and that is also going to lead to some critical fire danger that we have to talk about as well. It's beautiful blue skies in Moab. The Colorado River is bustling with some rafts, canoes, what have you here, and this is a great way to keep cool when the temperatures are this hot. Moab could see a record high temperature today. It's all associated with this ridge of high pressure in place. Notice that clockwise motion around it that's bringing the clouds back into Nevada here. Maybe a few isolated storms starting to fire off as well, but nothing locally yet. But that record heat is going to continue to be problematic today before it starts to subside a bit tomorrow, except in St. George, where you're going to continue to stay in the hundreds. Now, because the heat is going to be as strong as it is, we have some surface ozone that is going to be a problem for Salt Lake and Utah counties, and that is really when you're mixing in the daytime heating, the sun, the cars, the pollution in the industry, creates that nasty surface ozone here across some of the Wasatch Front, while everybody else is moderate, including Iron and Washington counties. Storm Prediction Center, though, has expanded the risk of a general threat of storms for most of our region today. This would be of the isolated dry thunderstorm variety, and Futurecast picks up a little bit of that here, especially in the Uinta Basin, the Uintas, down into the south central portion of the state, back up into the eastern areas of Nevada, along the west deserts here of Utah, northwestern Utah, and then they really blossom late tonight here as the instability really gets going and they kind of wrap themselves back towards the Wasatch Front in northern Utah. And there might be a few isolated ones here in the Wasatch Front very, very late tonight into early tomorrow morning, as you can still see here. Now, tomorrow we'll kind of more or less do it all over again in this same area where eastern Utah is more or less the bullseye, but we still might find a few isolated storm chances out there. The other problem is the fire risk, because we are going to start increasing the southwest winds heading into the rest of the day today and the weekend. But before we get to that, there's that thread here that's been expanded as well to include a bunch of the state. Red flag warnings are now in effect here for southwestern and south central Utah for those 10 to 20 mile per hour sustained winds, up to 35 mile per hour gusts. And then tomorrow it'll be west central and the San Rafael swell of Utah. 100 is the record high today in Salt Lake. 105 St. George. We'll go to 104 tomorrow, and that'll be very close to a record. But remember, the red flag warnings are going to be in effect, as well as the excessive heat warnings. And we'll stay 100 by Sunday, but then we'll cool off, if you want to call it that, back into the 90s. For the Wasatch Front, 100 would be the earliest ever, plus a record. Then we'll stay in the 90s through Tuesday, but the winds will really start to kick up Tuesday into Wednesday. That will elevate our fire threat, even as temperatures start to more or less cool off. Now, you can stay informed about this heat and all sorts of other weather-related things by downloading the Pinpoint Weather app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store by scanning one of those two QR codes on your screen right now.